Hi, everybody. I'm Carolyn Caldwell from Caldwell Evolution, and I'd like to welcome you here today. Today, I have Marietta Snetsinger joining us. Marietta is a franchise expert. She's been the owner and principal of Ascend Franchise Solutions since 2011, and she has worked from a home-based office for 13 years. She shows successful entrepreneurs how to convert their business to a franchise model. So we're here today to provide you with 3 tips from Marietta on how to be successful and productive and content and happy working from a home-based office, recognizing that many people may not always be in the habit of working from a home-based office and maybe converting or maybe switching. And here we are. We're going to help you be successful with that. So welcome, Marietta. Thank you for joining me
Thanks.
today.
Thanks. Great to see you again.
Great to see you too. So what would be your first tip for our audience?
Yeah, my first tip is really to know yourself and really know how you're wired and how you are able to set yourself up for success. And I'm a terrible procrastinator, and I know that about myself. So when I kind of dig a little bit deeper and I look at my strengths, and this is a really great tool and a great way to kind of, some of you may have already done it, but when I actually kind of got serious about, okay, what's going on here, and did my own StrengthsFinder profile, I very quickly realized, well, I have lots of influence and I have lots of strategic, but I don't have a lot of execution or implementation in my personality. That's just not the way I'm wired.
Okay.
So knowing myself and knowing how I'm wired, and not giving myself a hard time about it, but acknowledging that, and really, and basically, my next 2 tips are really just a direct outcome of that.
So in other words, when people know themselves and know what their strengths are, then they can play to their strengths and they can
Yeah.
modify either their work environment or their work schedule or even their work content if they have that flexibility to
Yeah.
actually play to those strengths.
Yeah, like, I mean, we all have our strengths, and
Mhm.
it's really about acknowledging and recognizing those strengths
Yeah,
and working within the way that we're wired, acknowledging it, and doing, taking action to find solutions to make it better and easier
right.
to be productive.
Okay, excellent. So what
Yeah.
would your second tip be then?
Yeah, my second tip is, a number of years ago I discovered what is called the Pomodoro method now, or the Pomodoro technique, and
Okay.
essentially Pomodoro, as in the tomato, it was actually created in the 1980s in Italy by Francesco Cirillo, and what he did was, it actually named after the tomato-shaped timer that he would use, but essentially, so timer, like a kitchen timer,
Yeah.
and he would call the pomodoros the tomatoes. And what he did was he would set the timer for 25 minutes. So you do a 25-minute sprint,
Okay.
focused intention, focused goal, write down what it is you want to complete in that time
Mm-hmm.
with no interruptions, 25 minutes. And then, the timer goes off. You get a 2 to 3 minute break, set the timer again, go for 25-minute sprint, and you
Okay.
repeat that 4 times, and then you get a longer break, 15 to 30 minutes. But it's amazing what happens when you can shut off the distractions, and you go, okay, I only have to do this for 25 minutes, or 10 minutes, or whatever's left. I'm just going to be focused on this goal. So the Pomodoro technique has worked really well for me. I use a timer on my phone all the time just to keep myself really focused on what it is I need to do, and you get a lot done when you.
Awesome. So you're not only providing yourself with a focused intention, with a timed work sprint, but you're also building in a little bit of a break in between. And then I
Right.
think I heard you say to do a longer break after
After
you've done
4.
several of these, after you
Yeah,
do 4.
4.
So do
Yeah, so
4 and then,
4, and then take a little bit longer, 15 to 30 minutes. I kind of go with the 30 minutes. I figure after doing 4 sprints of 25 minutes each, I probably
yeah,
feel pretty good and feel like, I've really earned that break by then.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I wonder if this is helpful for those people that have children at home while they're working, because it may be that, children have such a short attention span that the kids may be able to work on the 25-minute sprint as well. And then everybody can be on the same sprint cycle
Yeah,
to get
that's actually
things
a great
done.
idea. Even to get the kid, yeah, let the kids set the timer, and
Oh,
let
good
them
point.
even kind of do that with you. That's probably a really great idea. And then they know when they're going to get, and whether they're in the same room or in another room, I'm we talked about that in the past, but
Yeah.
where, it's kind of the boundaries around the office. But
Right.
yeah,
I mean, you and I both have older children. You've got a teenager. I've got a grown up teenager and a young
yeah,
adult, but I can see how that would be really, really helpful for people who are working with children at home,
yeah,
and really helpful for that focused intention. You know, thinking about, oh, well, I've got magic thinking, right? I've got a whole day to get stuff done. But the reality is, if you break it into 25-minute sprints, you
yeah.
really will be able to end up with several hours of concerted work. That's a great idea. So what would your third
Well,
tip be?
you made me just think of something, especially with regard to kids. And I mean, we are in such unprecedented times, and it's just not possible. When my son was younger, he went out to childcare during the day, but I think you could almost make a game of the Pomodoro method with the kids,
Yes.
right? Like
Yeah,
anything that could kind of make it more fun would be maybe appealing and maybe helpful.
I like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So my
So what
third
would your
tip.
third tip be?
Yeah, my third tip is really around I have a little saying on my desk here. Really smart women ask for help. And one
Ah,
of the ways that we can ask for help is to get an accountability buddy. Really connect with someone else. And you can do it in a number of different ways. I've done it I have a number of accountability buddies. Some of them are maybe just a daily check-in. Some of them, it's a monthly check-in where we kind of plan out what we want to get done in the next month. And then once a month we check in. One is a weekly check-in. One, I have a program that I'm in, we meet every 90 days. So we plan out our 90 days, and our accountability is to one another and getting our plan for the 90
yeah,
days completed.
yeah.
So
Wow.
you can have you can have several different types of accountability buddies. Maybe it's just a daily accountability buddy, or back to the Pomodoro. Maybe it's even like kind of doing what we're doing right now, and having accountability to one another. While I do, we stay on Zoom together. You go do this, and I go do that. I've done that lots with accountability buddies.
Yeah.
But having someone else kind of hold some space for you and support you to kind of stay focused sometimes can be really helpful. Or texting. That's another easy way
Right.
to connect.
So I'm thinking that for people who have perhaps moved out of an office environment and into a home-based office, so
Yep.
many corporations are changing the way they have their workforce work these days. So
Mhm,
many people have shifted to a work-from-home environment. What a
mhm,
great suggestion for maybe connecting with one of your colleagues, somebody that
mhm.
you feel comfortable sharing that accountability with, and just saying,
Yes.
hey, let's be our accountability partners. I've got this
Yeah.
to do, you've got that to do. We'll check in, and
Yeah.
did we get it
And
done?
yeah, exactly. Do we and what how are we gonna celebrate, right?
Yeah,
Like, how are we gonna celebrate when we get it done? Are we gonna, come on and have 5-minute conversation, or, like earning the break? And if you ever and I was just thinking about that's kind of a Simon Sinek technique as well. I was telling you earlier that I heard him speak, and that was one of the things is like set the goal, and then how are we going to celebrate it? We'll set ourselves up for some success.
this is
In some of my accountability buddies, it's really a morning text of
mhm.
these are the 3 things I'm going to work on today. You 1, 2, 3. They send you the 3 things, and then at the end of the day, did you get it done? Did you get it done? And what could you do differently tomorrow to get it done? Or woohoo, way to go, you got it done. So it's just, and you can have more than one. Like I said, I have several,
Fantastic. That's a
but
great idea. You've given me some ideas for myself now.
yeah,
I have
yeah, it's been
some
very
wonderful
helpful for
tools
me.
too.
Again, the bum in seat, like doing the work. I
Yeah.
truly struggle with that. And when I first came to a home office, I have to tell you, I worked for a company, and my contract was that no children at home under a certain age, and I just from very early on, I never did laundry. I never acted as if
Mhm.
I acted as if I was in an office. And the
Right.
same thing at night, close the door, leave. The weekend, close the door, leave. I've never, that's never been a real concern. And then when I started my own business based from home, I was really already set up, and I'd already established the habit. So it made it a lot
Yeah.
easier to
So,
transition for
so
sure.
you had those good habits already in place. That's really important.
Yeah.
In some other videos, I've talked about creating those habits around establishing your workspace. Make sure that it's
Yeah.
limited. Make sure that you can put it away so that it's not, it's not a
Yeah.
24/7.
This isn't my craft room slash office. This is truly my office.
Yeah.
And I love my office. I believe in, I take a few minutes when I come in the morning. If it's not tidy, Every once in a while, I kind of have to go through and purge and clean it out or change it around. Sometimes I'll just change it around to make it a little more interesting. I like change. I know not everyone does, but I embrace change. So, maybe I'll change my desk and put it on the other wall the next time, or just kind of, but taking the time and effort to make it a really pleasing space as well, like a color. Like I research, we're in the midst of building a new home and all of this craziness, and I was looking at a color for my office. One of the colors that I had thought about was actually like a blush pink, but it's too calming for an office. I don't
Oh,
know that I'll ever get it. It's too, like, when you look at the psychology of the color, it wasn't really going to set me up for success. So, the color I have now, like a blue, turquoisey blue kind of thing, is one of my favorite colors. It makes me want to be in here, and it's makes for a good backdrop. It's
awesome.
an
Oh,
appealing space in that way. So I don't mind being in here.
excellent. So I'd like to do just a quick recap for people. So
Mm,
what the 3 tips were. So number one, know yourself, play to the strengths, and then use that towards your productivity. Number two was to think of the Pomodoro method, to use a timer for 25 minutes sprint with a focused intention, and then take a 10-minute break. And then after 4 sets, gee, it's like a fitness set, right? Fitness productivity. Why did
yeah, exactly.
Okay, so after 4 sets, you can go and take a longer break.
Yeah,
And then number three was to remember to ask for support. Successful people ask for support when they need it,
yeah,
and use an accountability buddy.
yeah.
Marietta, that
Yeah.
is fantastic. Thank you so much.
You're
I am
welcome.
very grateful for the time that you've spent with us here today. Thank you very much.
No, my pleasure.
So thanks everybody for coming and joining us. I hope that you'll come back, and good luck working at home, and good luck with your productivity from your home-based office.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.